Hello everybody. Yay, it's paranormal video time. Yes, I said that I was shooting the video when I posted my last video. I was going to shoot it the same day, and I did shoot a video that day, but I was actually editing it today. And I'm like, whoa, you sound really annoyed and really bored, so why don't we try this again so we don't sound like such an a-hole when we come back doing paranormal videos. I wasn't bored, but I was annoyed because I had very little time left on my camera after I did my cross-stitch video. I do want to come back and do these videos, but you know, when you have a little time, you gotta rush. It's kind of, I don't want to, rush through it, but I have to get it done because I want to make everybody happy. You guys know what I mean. If I look different and weird in this video, it's because I actually invested that day in a tripod. I decided if I'm going to come back and do videos, I'm going to do them right. And this is my first time using it. It looks so weird to me. Like if I'm like, it's because it just looks really weird. I'm used to stacking my camera on books or something else like that. That's what I've done for like, what has it been, 4 years, 3 years that I've been doing videos. But now it's like, whoa, we're on a tripod. I have a really funny story. I've been sitting here for like the last hour trying to figure out how to work the tripod, and I pretty much got, the general idea of it. And I'm reading the instructions and I'm like, well, I gotta send this back because it's not gonna work for my video camera. I can't tilt it down, and one of the main reasons I bought the tripod was to do tutorials for cross-stitch so I can do them hands-free. Well, you know what I mean. I don't hold the camera when I'm shooting videos, but in order to aim it down, I'd have to like shoot it with a camera, and I want to do like finishing tutorials for cross stitch, so I couldn't get the camera to tilt down. So then I'm gonna shoot the video, then I'll pack this up and send it back. So I put it up and it was straight and I couldn't aim it down. I'm like, I can't even see myself. So it was on backwards the whole time. The camera, I had it attached backwards, and I'm such an Emma. That's all I am. I'm an Emma. I'm going to bring you a paranormal video today. You guys have been dying for them, and I apologize that I haven't been around to do any videos, let alone paranormal videos lately. I really suck. I know. But I'm back now. I plan to be back full-time-ish. Full-time would be like 40 hours a week, but I don't have that time. But I will do as much as I possibly can for YouTube. I really want to give it my all this time. The reason I haven't been on varies. I haven't had time, and there's a little more to it, but sometimes you just gotta let stuff go. So I have two options today as far as doing a paranormal video, and it's like I'm gonna make this decision live. I have Sasquatch. Oh my goodness, it's Sasquatch. You guys remember Sasquatch, and if you're like a new subscriber, maybe you don't know who Sasquatch is, but most people who come here and subscribe watch all my videos, and they're like, more videos now, and I'm like, ah. But I have Sasquatch here, and there are stories left in Sasquatch. Or I could do, I could tell you guys what's been going on around here. I haven't had pictures flying off the walls or anything, but I do have a really interesting story to tell you guys, and it kind of ties into something that I bought into the house. Let me flip really quick through Sasquatch. I was going to do that before I started the video, but I had to play with my tripod. I already told you that. That was scary. Yes, we could talk about the black-eyed kids today, and I just heard like 1,000 voices going, yes, talk about them, but I want to sound like I know what I'm talking about when I talk about them, and I kind of do. I mean, I've been researching them and looking things up on them, and they're kind of a new thing, So I've decided that I'm just going to go ahead and tell you guys a little bit about what's been going on here. I find it to be a super interesting story, which has I think I bought a haunted object in the house, which I'm not one to be like, oh, look at that, it's old, so it must be haunted kind of person, but this is a really interesting story, I think. I want to go through Sasquatch, take a day and just go through it and pick out stories so I have a good comprehensive idea of what I'm going to say. I haven't been through this notebook in a year or so. And then I'll be working on doing better videos like the Black Eyed Kids video. We'll talk about Slender Man. Listen guys, I know what happened, when did it happen? In the spring with Slender Man, with the Slender Man attacks or whatever. some people can't even mention the word Slender Man without people being like, you should not talk about that shit because that shit is evil. Listen, what happened with Slender Man happened because people were mentally ill, and we're going to talk about that on my channel, and if anybody gets offended by it, don't watch the Slender Man video. Probably do it with like urban legends or something, but come on, you know, honestly, Slender Man's not even real. It's not like he's like Bigfoot. Bigfoot's real, but Slender Man's not. You know, come on. So it's been a really long time since I've seen you guys, and I definitely had a lot more paranormal activity in this house when I first moved in. It's been 2 years this month. In the beginning, when we first moved in, we had a lot of weird stuff going on, and I've told you guys that before. I mean, I saw something really scary in the shower. I mean, I've never seen anything like that again here, thank God. A lot of noise upstairs, a lot of footsteps up and down the stairs, heard by everybody who ever came in here pretty much. We don't really get that anymore. I had terrible sleep paralysis last night where I was actually on my side and had it. Most people say they had it on their back, and that's sort of the scientific explanation for that, but I was on my side sleeping, and I was being held from behind by somebody, and my entire body was burning, like a burning sensation. But when I woke up from it, I would not move because I was terrified that there was something behind me, and I actually heard something in my room moving. But it was probably like a hypnagogic, look that word up if you don't know what it is, illusion or hallucination, the sound. It was probably my mind saying, hey, there's a demon in your room, because I just woke up from that horrible, oh, it was terrible. I wouldn't move for like 10 minutes. I stood there, I was like, but the pain and it's like, I'm gonna kill you, and I'm like, oh shit. Oh, you scared me. Oh, it's the lady with the wolf dog. She has a little baby, and she has a dog that looks just like a wolf, and it actually howls. I thought it was coyotes when I first moved in here. Yes, I do walk my dog outside. Some people don't think I do. They're just like, do you ever walk your dogs outside? Yeah, I do walk my dogs outside, and then I put them out in their yard and they run around for ages and they have so much fun. And then I beat them with sticks. Assholes. So anyways, let me get to the goods and the insides of this video and let you know why it's entitled what it's entitled, because I already know what I'm going to call it. So every year my son, he goes to Canada with his dad for 2 weeks, and this summer he went in July. So one day I decided I was going to go antiquing with my husband while he was gone one day. And we like to go towards the middle of New Jersey on the Delaware River. There's a couple of towns there that are really nice for antiquing, Lambertville and Somerville. I've never been to Lambertville really to go antiquing, so I was like, let's go down there because it's supposed to be like the antiquing capital of New Jersey. So we went there and we had a nice day out. We had a good lunch. We had a nice dinner out. We came back home with our spoils. But while I was down there, I managed to pick up a couple of antique photographs. That's mostly what I look for when I go antiquing. I really love antique photographs. I collect them. I started collecting when I was on YouTube, way back in like 2012, I think it was, when I was up in Massachusetts on vacation. I got my first antique photograph. I'm going to show you guys those photos now, and I want you to tell me if you get any creeps from any of them, if you feel anything from any of these pictures, because ever since I brought these pictures into my house, something weird has been happening. And these are all cabinet cards. They're my preferred pictures to collect. I just like how they hold up better. I like how they're mounted onto cardboard. And I also like to collect from the Victorian era to the 1920s. That's my favorite kind of pictures to collect. I got this nice looking lady. And on the back of her, just her name, Mary. I got this fine sir. On the back of him, it says May 1889, so that's when the picture was taken, I'm going to assume. And it says, died October 15th, 1889. I got a very unique picture of two little girls. They look like twins to me, and it looks like one of them has some sort of disability. Maybe she's blind, I'm not sure. A picture of, it looks like the late Victorian era, little girl. On the back of this one, it has her name. It's Justine something. I can't make out her last name. It says it was her confirmation. Back then, they wore black for their confirmation sometimes. Could you imagine wearing black on your confirmation nowadays? It'd be like, Satan, get out, Satan's child. I got this picture of this nice married couple. Looks like they just got married. The woman looks so thrilled that she's married. Look at her. She's so happy. Look at the bliss. And then I got this picture of this woman in a park setting. She looks Edwardian. It does say something on the bottom. I can't make it out. It looks like Dayton Park, maybe. One Lena? Something like that. But I can't really make it out. Try to get that in there. You know, I got my remote for my camera, so I can actually do this now. See how that works. Oh, look at that. Mother of God, it works. Now you can see me really close too. Don't look at my pimples. That was neat to just try it out. Now, I'm not one who really subscribes to the belief that your soul gets stuck in your photograph when it's taken. The Victorians kind of believe that, I think, some of them. I have lots of these pictures. I collect them. One day, if you guys like to see my collection, I can show you. I have never bought one home and felt that I bought a spirit home with it until I bought these few pictures home with me that day. Typically, for me, I like to collect pictures of children, families, women, pretty, dressed up in nice fashion, animals. I don't normally go for pictures of just men for some reason. But that day, I felt this guy needed to come home with me for some reason. There was just something about him. So I'm getting the feeling that something might have been coming off of this picture. I don't know, I could be just crazy. Maybe I'm insane. Some of you out there are like, you're a crazy bitch, but I don't know. So, what I consider paranormal activity started the day after I bought these pictures home. I didn't think anything of it at first, but it got weirder and weirder as time went on. Now, when we brought them home, we went about life as usual. I just put them on the table in the breakfast nook and went about my business. We went to bed that night and we got up the next day. Didn't have anything to do. It was a Sunday, so we're laying in bed. My husband's on his cell phone, going on the internet, checking things out. I'm on my tablet reading or doing whatever I do. And we're up in bed, and all of a sudden we hear chairs scraping on the tile downstairs in the breakfast nook. So our first response to that is we get really quiet, and I say to him, "Did you hear that?" And he's like, "Yes, I did." So I know it was the scraping of the breakfast nook table chairs because it was scraping of tile. You could tell the difference between that and, like, you know, wood doesn't make that much noise as opposed to the chair against tile. I was trying to make the noise, but you heard it doesn't make much noise. We're laying up there and I'm starting to get nervous, and I'm saying to him, I'm like, okay, I think you need to go down there just in case somebody decided they were going to take a little walk through our house today and broke in, want to steal our stuff and hurt us, so why don't you go check it out? And you could tell he was a little rattled because we distinctively heard the chair moving downstairs, and he's thinking someone's in the house. I'm thinking someone's in the house. Couldn't have been a dog because our dogs don't run around the house at night. We let them run around all the rest of the time, even when we go out. But at night, they have their own little room next to the craft room where they go and they sleep. Oh, look, a chipmunk. Oh, you're so cute. Don't you eat my mums. Don't you do it, you little shit. So he goes downstairs and he's in, you know, I've told you about this before. He goes in the full-on, like, Rambo mode, like, I'm gonna F someone up if they're in my house. And I'm like, I'm at the top of the stairs. I'm like, you let me know if someone's in here and I'll call 911. I got my phone out and he's like, no one's down here, but the chair's moved out a little bit. So I'm a very anal, retentive person when it comes to things being in order. You can even call me a little OCD. I have to have things being where they need to be. So every night before bed, chairs need to be tucked in. If something's out of place, it will irritate me. So, like, for example, if I'm watching a DVD and I leave the doors open on the entertainment center and I'm on the couch and I'm just like, I won't be able to watch the DVD. I'll be able to watch the entertainment center until I get up and close the doors, and then I'll be able to relax. I'm OCD like that, so I know the chairs were tucked in. I come downstairs and I'm just like, oh, so it was just nothing. The doors weren't open. He goes down, he checks the basement, and windows are fine. Nothing, no one's in the house. So we're all like, okay, whatever. Must have been something, you know, maybe just whatever. We didn't think paranormal activity at all. I didn't even think that, and sometimes I go off and I'm like, oh, it's a ghost. I got a funny story. Like, sometimes I like, our minds play tricks on us. The other day I came up from exercising and I went up to my bedroom to take a shower, and I get undressed out of my exercise clothes and I go to throw them in the hamper. And my husband has his clothes on the floor because he's a man and they don't put them in their hamper. And he has them laid out so that it looks like a guy is on the freaking floor, and I'm like, ah! So I can admit that sometimes we get all scared when we see things, but I didn't think paranormal activity at all during this time. So we go about our day, and you know, I'm not thinking about it. I get dinner done, we're all done with the day. I'm straightening up and I pick up the packet of pictures, and they're in this paper bag that the antique shop owner gave me them in. And as soon as I pick them up, I'm just looking at the bag and I'm thinking to myself, don't even tell me that somebody in this bag or something attached to these pictures moved that chair today. So I'm being funny because I don't really think that that's what's going on, but I say to my husband, I'm like, hey, what if one of these guys moved the chair? And he won't even look at me at this point. He's like, don't even talk like that. Now, my husband is really strict about not talking about paranormal stuff in the house because he is a true believer like I am, that if the more you talk about it and the more you poke at it, the more will happen. And some of you will call my husband a sissy for that and an asshole. Like, you guys are so kind. You've called him so many names on my channel. Like, stop it. Anyways, but yes, he's really not okay talking about that kind of stuff. So he's like, oh, don't even say that and drop it now. So I put the pictures back into my craft room with the rest of the pictures. They're waiting to be framed. And we go to bed. So we go about our week, everything's normal, everything's fine, nothing weird is happening in the house, but Saturday rolls around and it's like the Sunday before that. We're in bed, I'm reading on my tablet, he's on his phone, and we're just going about our, you know, routine, and from downstairs we hear the chair scrape against the floor. So I stop what I'm doing and I just stare him down, and he's not looking at me, and I'm like, okay. I'm like, you heard it, right? He's like, I heard it. And he's like, but I'm not saying anything. I'm like, well, shouldn't you go down there in case someone broke in? It's like a broken record. And he's like, nope. And I'm like, okay, well, if someone comes up here and murders us, that's your fault. But this time, it happened again. So like 3 minutes later, it scrapes against the floor again. So I'm like, okay, let's get up, let's go down there, let's see if we can figure out what's going on. So we get up, we go down there, the chair's moved out a little bit. Now mind you, the chair is not pulled out from the table, and it doesn't sound like, it's not like scrape, like someone's yanking it out. It's just, but you can hear it because it's tile, the bedroom's right above it, and I mean, it echoes, it's a big house. So, but the chair, like this is the chair, this is the table, this is the steeple, and the chair is just moved out like this from the table. And it's the same thing as it was last week, except it's moved out a little more. So we go down there and I'm like, okay, I'm like, what is it? I'm like, is the floor heating up? Is the air conditioning coming on? But by then, the air conditioning is on all night. So it can't be that. It's not a temperature change. It's just, even if it was, it's never happened before, okay? And he's like, well, I was just thinking maybe the sun's coming up and it's warming up the floor. The sun comes up over here, guys. So no, it's not the sun coming up. The sun would be going down, heating up the floor. And even if, how does a chair move out? Like, we'd all have freaking crazy chairs moving out everywhere if that happened. We're just like, okay, well, something's going on here. Let's not, poke at it too much and It could be worse. We could be getting like sworn at and pushed and shoved and, you know, whatever. Let's just ignore it right now. So we go about our business and we go about our life, and the next week comes up and we have another weekend and we're going about the same thing, but I can remember this time I'm in the bathroom doing my business. It's earlier. I remember it's like just 7 in the morning. It's a weekend. My husband's on his phone. And I remember this was the day we were getting up to go pick my son up from his dad so my 2 weeks with him could start for vacation. And I hear it again, and this time it's a longer scrape, and it's a bad scrape, but it is. That's how, and it's pulling out. And I'm just sitting here and I'm like, oh God. And I didn't say anything, he didn't say anything, and then I get up and I'm done in the bathroom and I come back out and I'm looking at him in the bed. I'm like, did you hear it? And he's like, I did hear it. And I lay down in the bed and I'm looking on my tablet and hanging out, we're talking, and scrape again, and it's just, okay, what's going on down there? Go down, the chair's moved out a little bit. So this continues on every single weekend day. On either a Saturday or Sunday, it happens one day or another, for every single weekend day since we got these pictures, except for one. I remember there was one weekend that went by that this didn't happen. And it's the same thing. We'll be up there, we'll just be going about our business. We won't be thinking about it. I don't think about it, and it'll just happen. I'm not thinking about it because I just wake up and I'm thinking about, oh, I can lay here today, I don't have to get up and move, and scrape, it happens. It's a very weird thing to be happening. You would think that they would be doing something else if they want to get your attention. But maybe they're hungry and they want me to come down and make them breakfast. I don't know what's going on, but it's very weird. As I said, I've lived here for 2 years and this has only happened since I brought these pictures into the house. So I ask you guys if you got any creeps from these pictures or any feelings. It doesn't have to be the creeps, oh God, they're evil. Let me know. I personally think it might be this picture, and I'm not saying it's this guy attached to it. It could be that somebody that held these pictures passed on and they're attached to them. I don't know. I have no idea, but what is going on in here? I have no idea what's going on. It's just weird. So that's all I have for you guys today. I will be bringing you more paranormal videos soon. I am having a lot of fun coming back here. I'm excited to be back here. Let me know if you guys would like to see my antique photo collection. Like I said, I collect mostly cabinet cards, but I do have some tintypes and all that good stuff too. And I did miss you guys very much. Thank you all for being so patient and kind and sticking by me and checking on me. It's very, very good of you guys. And as always, again, thank you for watching. Bye. Here comes the sun, like really bad. I hate you. What the hell is that kind of word? I don't even, what's a stinge? Isn't that like a person who's like cheap? Or like a jerk? I'm stinge. It's a paranormal stinge. It's a paranormal cheap person. Go away. Little pilgrim. New Jersey, not Jersey. Or I'm having hot flashes, I don't know. I'm playing with my tripod, leave me alone. I can't even see the camera. Phenomenon. Do, 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 do.